I know the last thing you guys want to talk about after a really good race at the Roval is rules packages and Aero packages and all that stuff, but gotta talk about it because the new 2019 package was confirmed. I'm gonna try to make this video kind of short, not talk about it too long, just explain the details of it, as you guys probably already know the details of it, what I think about it, why these things are happening, and what the future looks like. But let's just get right to it. The 2019 package has many of the things I expected it to have. It's still going to have the splitter, still going to have a spoiler, still going to have the Aero ducts from the All-Star package, but the engine package is a little bit different. In the All-Star race, had 450 horsepower with a restricted plate engine. In this one, it is a tapered spacer, which is another form of a restrictor plate, but just it restricts less of the airflow. But it will be 550 horsepower, and this will also differ apparently dependent on the track. So 17 of the 36 tracks next season will have the 550 horsepower. Some tracks like Darlington and Atlanta and a few others, I think Pocono as well, will have no Aero ducts with the 550 horsepower. So that should be really interesting because the Aero ducts are, in my opinion, the best part of the package. So I don't know why they want to take those off at those tracks, but let's see what they're doing. The spoiler is 8 inches by 61, and it's just what I thought it would be. The bunny ears never looked right to me. I didn't even think that for performance-wise they really did anything. They're just going with a taller spoiler, which is a throwback to the 2014, 2015, 2013 Gen 6, where it just had higher downforce on it. And this spoiler will be on the car for all the races. They will be there as well for the short tracks and the road courses, so that might be a little bit different. I actually think it might help short tracks and road courses, even though they're already... Well, it's not going to do anything. Short tracks and road courses are great anyways, so it doesn't really matter what you do with the spoiler. It's just going to give a little bit more downforce to the drivers, and they're still going to have the 750 horsepower at short tracks and road courses. But at the 1.5 miles and 2 miles and everything like that, they will have the 550 horsepower package. This includes Homestead. That's a really big deal because it's the last race of the season, and that's the package you're going to have to run for the championship, so you're going to see teams really focus on that. I'm going to use a few tweets from Jeff Gluck to show like what they're trying to do. So number one, NASCAR believes running slower speeds will give Goodyear more options in developing a softer tire. Steve O'Donnell said that drivers will have more options to make a move or pass in the corners under the new package and doesn't see that in the current package. I'd love to have a conversation with Steve O'Donnell because I don't see what he's seeing. It's just the matter of racing purposes. When you're going more on throttle time with the current car, it does not create more opportunity to pass, including with a softer tire. The softer tire would create more tire wear, but that wouldn't allow passing. I think what they're mixing up is, oh, tire wear creates passing. No, if I'm running 2/10 behind another car and my car is crap and I'm on the throttle a lot, I'm still going to run in the dirty air. I don't see what they're seeing. I'd love to have a conversation with them about it, because that point, I don't get it at all. I do agree with creating a softer tire. Softer tires are generally better for the racing. You just get more tire wear, a little bit more grip at the initial part, and then, it fades off. But I don't see what they see with the other part. The second tweet from Gluck has a quote from Mr. O'Donnell. Here it is. "Let me dispel the myth. NASCAR is interested in pack racing everywhere. That's not at all where we're trying to get to. The best drivers and the best teams are still going to win the races. Do we think the guys will be closer together? We do." Very simplistic reasoning of we just want to make the cars closer together. It doesn't really care how to get it. You just want to make it a little bit closer. And this package will do that. What's interesting about this pack racing quote is that also NASCAR talked about how with the simulations with the 2019 package that drivers go full throttle for the first few laps. And my point there is that is pack racing. So that's my only question. Again, I'd love to have a conversation with Mr. O'Donnell here because I don't see what they're looking for, but they say they don't want to create pack racing. However, when you're going full throttle, like, what's going to separate you? If there's no off-throttle time, what's going to separate you? It's pack racing. Like, what do you want me to say? And when the tires wear, they will back off the throttle, but they're not backing off the throttle enough to be able to make a pass. Like, it's not going to... At tracks like Michigan and Pocono, where you're going on throttle so much, and the car... I don't see it. NASCAR believes this will take some of the engineering out of the current racing, says the goal is racing less in the wind tunnel and more on the track, and they're using this package to bridge the gap until it can get the Gen 7 on track in a couple of years. We're going to talk about Gen 7 in a second. I'm going to hold on to that. And the last tweet from Jeff Gluck, engines in the Cup Series currently use a tapered spacer, which leaves engines turning about 750 horsepower. That's what we have now. Next year will be 550. All-Star package was 400, and manufacturers have told NASCAR they aren't invested in entering the sport at 750 horsepower level engine. Too much money. And that's the biggest point here, is that this package is simply a Band-Aid. It is simply a Band-Aid. It's simply something different that they are trying to create somewhat better racing, but like I said, I don't think it's going to be better. I don't think it's going to be worse. I don't know what we're going to see. Is it going to be closer? Yeah. Is it going to be pure racing? Will the pure racing diehard fans like it? Probably not. With reality, NASCAR is becoming more like WWE every day. It's becoming an entertainment business, not really a sport. And that's just the way it's going. The skill is taken out of this package a little bit. I understand that you have to get off the throttle a little bit, but it's not going to change anything. You're just blipping the throttle at that point. So, I mean, a lot of people can do that. In short, the biggest deal here is the manufacturers. The OEMs and everyone there, they requested that apparently they want lower horsepower because it's too expensive to make the full-fledged 900 horsepower engines that are already restricted. It just tells me that this is not about racing, which is highly disappointing, because I think what NASCAR should be doing, especially the guys in charge of racing, is to make sure that you put the best racing product out there. But because of NASCAR's financial issues right now, with ratings dropping and sponsors leaving and all that stuff, and manufacturers, they want to bring new manufacturing into the sport. If you're looking at Formula E, you're getting Audi, Jaguar, BMW, Mercedes, Porsche. All of them are going into Formula E, a sport or a series that isn't even developed yet, really. But they're all investing millions of dollars in there. And this is from Jeff Gluck, by the way. They're all investing millions of dollars in there because they see the potential that Formula E has. They see the electric side. They see that they can sell from their own manufacturer side to fans. They could sell their cars. They could get great advertising. That's how it works. And that's too expensive right now to make the current engine model. So hopefully what I'm hoping for is when Gen 7 comes around, and now we should talk about it, is Gen 7. When Gen 7 comes around and the car changes, that the engine package reflects the car. So what I mean by that is hopefully it's not restricted in any way, no tapered spacer at all. It is just a smaller engine with less horsepower that way. That way you keep the torque in it. That way you can keep, when you get on the throttle, you're really spinning those rear tires. You have to manage the throttle. Hopefully that's where we go. It would be cheaper for the manufacturers to make, and maybe more manufacturers will come in. But this is not about racing. This is all about trying to get new manufacturers into the sport. It is all about trying to band-aid something until Gen 7 comes out, and we don't even know about Gen 7 yet. I'm hoping, they won't talk about it a lot, but I'm hoping they're going in a direction where they have to, and I mean they have to address the aero issues of that car. Because like I've been saying, and again, I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm going to try to make this quick. Like I've been saying, the car is the biggest issue. The aero parts of that car is the biggest issue. It does not matter what splitter you have. It does not matter what spoiler you have. It does not matter what the horsepower is currently in this car. It does not matter who drives the car. It does not matter how many, what you do to it. The way this Gen 6 car is constructed, it is not constructed at all for good racing. There is way too much aero dependency into the car, and they have to look at something like Formula 1, which Formula 1's doing in 2021, which is just basically dumbing it down. You have to dumb down the car. Technology has hurt racing overall. You have to make these cars simpler. You have to make the car flat. You have to make it look like more of a stock car that you see on the streets. That way you just take the aero out of it. That is the biggest thing they have to focus on. If that happens, then you can actually focus on how much horsepower you really want to put in there, what kind of racing you're going to get, because there's no more aero dependency. With this package, you're still going to see guys who are 2 car lengths behind the other car. You will still see them struggle. You will still see the aero push in big effect. You will still see a wake of dirty air that is really, really troubling. And it does not matter what package you use. You have to change the actual geometry of the race car. Until that happens, nothing's going to change. So leave it down in the comments below what you think of the car. I'm not going to be too happy about it. I'm not going to be too angry about it. I would love to have a conversation with the executives to see what they're seeing. That's my biggest issue. I don't see what they see. And I think I'm looking at it from a racing perspective, and I understand the business side of it with the manufacturers and the OEMs. But what I don't see is we're not trying to create pack racing, but they're going full throttle. See, that's what I don't get. That I don't see what Mr. O'Donnell is seeing. I don't see it. And unfortunately, that's what leaves me hesitant. So that's how it is. We'll see what happens next year and see how it goes. Again, guys, comment down below. I really want to hear what your opinion is. I'll try to read all the comments. I'm expecting not a lot of them to be positive, but let's just say if Gen 7 comes out in a few years, 2, 3, 4 years from now, that's what we're all waiting for. And until then, they're just trying to basically band-aid it, and they can't do anything with the tracks either. So it's really a tough situation. I mean, we wouldn't have to be talking about any of this if we just eliminated a lot of the 1.5 miles, went to more short tracks, went to more road courses. The car doesn't matter. That's the biggest thing. When you go to a road course or you go to a short track, car does not matter. You can drive whatever you want there, and you're still going to get good racing. So hopefully we go down both those routes. Eventually we get to more short tracks and road courses, but also eventually we make the car better. We get a better engine. We get everything that aligns to what the drivers want as well and to what the fans want, and everything starts aligning a few years down the road. But again, right now, I don't see the vision. So if they want to talk about the vision they have, then they could help me see it, but I don't see it. So I'll see you guys later. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Hopefully I made it short enough. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Peace out.